Hey there guys, False Face, and this video is going to be totally different. It's going to be like a vlog, but I don't have a video camera, so you're just going to watch me play Minecraft while I talk. It's going to be great. Well, I'm not doing much. Anyways, this is just a video. It's talking about Christianity, atheism. I'm not going to go out and say one's right, one's wrong. I'm just going to put that out there right now. What I am going to say is that Christians need to get their arguments together. They need to figure out what they're actually talking about before they go debate atheism in a public forum. There's so many things I've seen. I'm going to turn the volume down. Let's do this. Turn the volume down. Right out. There's so many just things I've seen. Asking questions, trying to justify, like asking atheists, to justify the world or the universe or life and things like that. And like, oh, this is my logical question that proves Christianity, or, proves Christianity must be right and atheists could never be right. So I'm just going to give it a go, and I'm going to talk about a few of the things that I've seen people ask constantly, and they blow my mind. It doesn't make any sense to me. I will preface by saying I was Christian at one point, I was atheist at one point, I am an agnostic. If you don't know what that is, I guess I'd say look it up, but I'll give you my definition. I don't know if there is a God or if there isn't a God. I do support science in its many, many different facets, because I'm a logical guy and I've always studied science and it makes a lot of sense. But I'm not going to say, I think it's just as ignorant to say there is no God as it is to say that there is a God, and that has to be a fact as well. So, I'm going to put that out there. But anyways, it's just to address a few things. Why live? I see people ask that. What's the point in living if there's no God? I don't even see that. I can't understand how that's even the slightest logical question. Sorry, I'm pausing. It blows my mind. I can't understand it. Like, why live? I don't know. Do you not enjoy today, tomorrow? Like, did you not enjoy your first girlfriend and kissing her? Did you not enjoy the first time you saw like a great movie? Or what I mean? Like, there's so many things in life to enjoy and do. It doesn't make any sense to say why live if there's no God. Why live? Why not? Why not enjoy yourself, reproduce, have a family, love them, care for them, give them what you can, and hope for the best in their lives? Like, I don't see anything wrong with doing all of that just because there's might not be God. Like, just because God doesn't exist doesn't mean that we can't love people and enjoy ourselves. That doesn't make sense. So, I mean, I could address that further, but I don't really feel like it needs to be. The idea that Earth needs to have a creator, I see people say like, oh, well, there must have been something that created Earth and the universe that couldn't have come from nowhere. And like people use this, they're trying to use logic to prove atheism wrong, but it's like, you think about it for 2 seconds. I mean, the universe had to have a creator, you say so? Okay. And that creator was God, but I say that God needs a creator. But he doesn't because he's God. Okay. So you like attempting to use logic to prove atheism wrong, like, but the same logic applied to Christianity proves it wrong. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't argue that. It's just silly. Something else I saw people saying, chicken and the egg, and that somehow proves evolution wrong, which that's just one of those things. I mean, you need to go read about evolution a little bit, I think. Chicken or the egg is not a real question. It's not a scientific question. It's more like a Buddhist sort of riddle question, such as, the tree falls in the woods, does anybody hear it? It's not, scientists don't ask that and try and find out for sure. That's a logic problem. It's something to think about. So I mean, it really doesn't go anywhere to prove atheism wrong. So yeah, the idea that atheists don't have morals, or that without God there would be no morals, and like God created our system of law. And I mean, people say this sort of stuff, and it's like, I mean, you got to look around for 30 seconds to tell that that's not true. I mean, there's non-Christian nations that have oddly the same laws, like virtually identical laws. And actually, if you want to look it up, Babylonian societies, like, societies that existed before Christian society existed in any way, shape, or form, they still had the same rules. You didn't kill each other and you didn't steal from each other. It's pretty easy to understand as a human, without God or any religion, that that's not a good thing. I don't want to die, so I assume the person next to me doesn't want to die. So let's just not kill each other. Like, the idea that morals and laws come from a religion just seems absolutely silly to me. It's nonsensical. There's no logic in there. So, gonna move to the next one. I've seen people actually not a lot of people. I've seen a few people state this. Clearly, they don't know what they're talking about. Say, who wrote the Bible if there's no God? The Bible doesn't claim to be written by God Himself, and I don't think most religions would, like most Christian religions, like would say, yes, God, He wrote the Bible and He handed it to us. It's not how it went. It's written by prophets, and that's it. Period. If you don't want to call them prophets, there's other words for them. Look them up. Go look up, synonyms. um, but yeah, so I mean, the idea that God must have written the Bible is kind of silly. Like to state that must prove something. The only religion, as far as I know, that believes that their book was actually straight from the Word of God is the Muslim religion. But I don't see them trying to use that logic to prove atheism wrong. So yeah, that's my take on things, guys. I wanted to just answer a few of those questions and give my opinion on them. So watch this, share this with people. Like, this is not me saying Christians are wrong. This is me just saying, I mean, a lot of the things that Christians will be told, or they'll tell each other, or they'll try and argue with the atheists about, they're not logical. They're not actually based in fact. They're based in a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, that's just it. Like, you argue chicken and the egg. Like, you either don't really realize what you're asking, or you don't know about evolution, because evolution answers that question perfectly. That's it. There was an animal and it existed, and that, you know what I mean? Like, but was before the chicken. Chicken wasn't the first animal to ever exist. Like, it's the thing. It's just a logical concept. It doesn't prove anything. You can go look it up, and I'm sure science has great theories as to exactly where and when the birth through eggs developed. And actually, that was, I believe, how most species reproduce for for a large portion of history. Mammals are kind of awkward in that they're live birthed. And if you know much about evolution, you'd know that mammals were also, they evolved later than reptiles or amphibians, birds, most other creatures. Mammals were the last species, or family species line, I guess, to evolve out of all of them, and they're essentially the only one that really has live birth. So eggs have been around forever, and that's just how animals reproduce. Humans are different, but if you are hardcore religious and you're not looking at science, you're going to be like, oh, humans are the rule. Why are animals different? So I mean, this logic doesn't apply. But yeah, so that's my take on it, guys. I'm just gonna die. This has not really been. This has just been me dicking around in Minecraft for a minute. Well, I just wanted to share with you guys my take on some of the religious arguments that people use. And as I said before, I'm agnostic. I don't think either one's necessarily right, but I will say that I do believe in science because, I mean, I've studied physics, I studied electricity. Science has been right every time. I mean, electricity is a simple way to see that, like, science knows what they're talking about. I mean, just go ask an electrician how electricity works a little bit. I could explain it, but I'm not doing that today. But what I mean is that if we didn't understand electricity perfectly, you wouldn't be watching me on YouTube. And we understand it perfectly because of science, and science allows us to understand the world around us. Doesn't necessarily state that there is or isn't a God. So let's just leave it at that. You guys have a great one. It's been False Face, and hopefully I've given you something to think about, or maybe, something you can show someone, or I don't know. Have a great day. Hope you liked it.